These are new Bodega songs.
What is the difference between an artist and an advertiser? According to that maxim whereby you can at the same time will that it should be the only exception to the universal law.
Thank you very much, everybody on YouTube, for joining us here tonight. You could have been anywhere in the world and you're here with us.
Sample prohibited. Copyright restrictions.
Watch the phone! Watch the phone.
I was told, here by chance, was targeted by new age ads. Spent most of my days in a trance. 2 feet now to understand. My molecule sage, I remain. Weave venom, weave my image. King in the prince, ghost protagonist, idealist, perverted, cuckold, the trip takes through multitude. Statement, hear what's past in you. Finding the world without actuality. Find that the world is without. My brain is a train, true for a collision with my body on the track. True for a decision, my brain is a train, true for a collision with my body on the track. True for a decision, we're flow, not here by chance. Surrounded bureaucrats, I was called by 2 Democrats. Senator Stone, still fed in the class. Yet inside me, Bermuda Triangle. Chester, gambler, idiot troll. Graceful, grateful, patience none. Puritan, conservative, I sing well. Exaggerates, hippie and up. Fiercely loyal, real Trump shit. A bundle of impressions, impressionable. See what I say? It's not what I think, but a reaction to the itch on my back. Reaction to the kick on this track. Reaction to the 6 of this pack. Reaction, celebrity, master class and let's go. Here by chance, compounded of 3 authored acts. Exponent, loathing, and moodless. Exponent, always I'm wearing a mask and I'm stoned. Here by chance, shipwreck cards.
I use my computer for everything. Heaven knows I'm miserable now.
Memorize with your heart and not with your head. 1, 2, 3, 4. Memorize with your heart, not with your head. You have to put your body into it. Been trying to see the sounds in my head. Been trying to hear the dreams that she thread above our beds. A tangled web, discarded mess of a bless that says, memorize with your heart, not with your head. To put your body into it. I'm trying to force these thoughts out instead. Go for a walk and let my loss be led. And where I'm led, right down from ledge to take it step by step. Step from the ledge that says, do I do the only strokes I was influenced by? She said, were the strokes I received from you. And when we grew, all the past was new. We're all part of it too. Thank you very much.
A broken equipment, second one. They usually say the second one is the hardest one to bring out. How would you assess this second album? Was it an easy process?
No.
No?
No.
I mean, it could have been easy, but we wanted to challenge ourselves and do something a bit different. I mean, obviously we made it during the pandemic, so
Right.
nothing would have been too easy for anybody during that time. We had more time to work on it, but having more time to work on something is not always a good thing.
Right,
No.
exactly.
A
Yeah.
lot of second guessing and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah, and would you consider this album to be like a metaphor for the spirit of this time? Broken? Are we all broken? Are we all damaged beings?
Yes. I mean, every generation is going to say that their generation is the most broken one. But
They all brag about who's most broken.
yes, exactly.
Right, sure. Yeah.
But the reason we chose that title is Heidegger had this sort of beautiful idea that things that are broken reveal. So, for example, I forget the exact examples he uses, but
He uses actually an example with a shoe.
The
from
shoe
a va-
is
from a
right.
Van
Oh,
Gogh.
wow,
Exactly.
so you know about this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
from a Van
peasant
Gogh-
shoes.
For the peasant shoes from a Van
Exactly.
Gogh
Van Gogh painting.
painting, yeah.
That's
Oh, wow,
great.
great
We
memory.
actually
Wow.
read that.
Oh, you did?
What is it called? The Origin of the Work of Art.
Yeah,
In our philosophy group.
okay.
That was a lot of the themes.
That's
and
a good way to spend your time, at
Oh
philosophy.
yeah. Me, Ben, and Adam, and kind of everyone collectively.
You
also
either get
outside
depressed
of
or you get
Exactly.
get something out of it. You probably did get something
that.
out
Yeah,
of it.
it was a really creative group, and that was actually one of the things that we read.
But Heidegger, that's quite the thing, you know, being in time, or I don't know.
Yeah,
time
we
and-
didn't actually. We did the beginning of Being in Time, but we read most of his later stuff.
Right.
But yeah, to go back to the point, for anyone who's watching this and doesn't know, Heidegger has this idea that when things are broken, like a broken shoe,
Yeah.
you might take your shoes for granted. You might forget that you're even wearing shoes, but when there's a hole in them, all of a sudden you say, okay, now my shoes are what connects my flesh to the earth, and it reveals something about the shoe.
and the purpose of,
Yeah.
of
Right.
things.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah, the purpose of the thing, or the being of the thing, really.
Yeah.
But so because we live in such obviously dystopian, broken times,
the plus side to that is it's revealing the true nature of the way the systems work.
Sure.
I mean, that's one sense of the word broken equipment, but there are other senses. You know, to me, it's just an evocative phrase. It's like blonde on blonde or something.
Right.
Dylan,
Sure.
yeah. And there is, of course, not only Heidegger's playing a role in the background, I would say, there's also Seneca's is there.
Oh,
with-
yeah.
with
Right.
you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Well, that's actually, yes, there's a street.
So
that,
you guys are stoics.
we're definitely not stoics.
The type of music you make doesn't really bring me to
No.
brings you in contact with me to Seneca, I would say.
No, I mean, I'm like anybody. I've flirted with Stoicism at times. And I think there are some beautiful ideas in Stoicism. There's some not so beautiful ideas, but like all philosophy is wrong. If you
Yeah.
take what is useful from different ones.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Right.
the reason I was drawn to Seneca, which people in Brooklyn will know this.
Yeah.
There's a street called Seneca that we live right off of. So it's like every day I walk by and Seneca. You know.
You guys come from Brooklyn. You're based
Yeah.
in Brooklyn.
Yes.
Is there some kind of a good vibe, musically vibe going on there? Are you embedded in some kind of musical scene?
Yeah, there's a thriving scene in Brooklyn. There's a lot of really interesting bands coming out of there right now. Like Gustav is a really interesting band. Public Practice, obviously Parquet Courts. They're
Of course.
kind of the generation right before us, but we're
2
a part
years
of
before
that.
us.
Yeah. But we're a part of all of that, absolutely.
And you guys started off when? In 2016?
Yeah. Well, so I guess me and Nikki had a band called Bodega Bay that almost all of the Endless Scroll songs were from that band actually. But that started in 2013. But then we started playing with new members and we decided to drop the Bay in 2016. And we started playing with Ty in 2018, right after we put out Endless Scroll. And we did that Shiny New Model mini album in 2019. And then we started playing with Dan in 2019, our new guitar player. And we started playing with Adam, our new bass player,
2020.
2020. Yeah.
During COVID. Yeah.
So even though he's been in the band for
Yeah.
2 years, he just started playing shows with us. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the band is, of course, also visually very appealing, I must say.
Yeah,
Because
sure.
of the drumming going on, the stand-up drums.
Yeah, sure.
Is that something that you chose to do, especially to get the visual, to give the audience the visual impact?
yeah, like we talk about theater a lot when we talk
Yeah.
about our shows.
Very theatrical, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
Hopefully,
theatrical element in there.
yeah. As the band progresses, I hope that we'll be able to put on more elaborate sort of theatrical productions. That's a proper word for it. Nikki does all of our music videos and our album art, so she's kind of an artist in that way.
And you at your project
I'm-
as well.
I'm a cinema guy, so
And you, are you into cinema
Yeah,
as
well, I cut my teeth in the theater.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I was
Gee.
in that show, the show Stomp, the drumming show.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, I did like 1,000 shows there.
That's living for the art, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's giving everything.
Yeah.
Ty, you paint too.
Yes,
Oh,
and
yeah,
I
you did?
paint,
Yeah.
yeah.
We're all kind of, I wouldn't say we're musicians second because it's kind of facetious to say, but it is kind of true. We all do other kinds of art. And
Andrew
then,
Savage of the Parquet Court, he's a visual artist as
Yeah,
well.
he's a good
Amazing
painter,
visual
yeah.
He's a
artist,
painter
yeah.
also.
yeah.
And he's in that scene also with the visual artists and the musicians. Is there some kind of a group that you guys get together?
Yeah, I would say there's maybe like, there's a constellation of like maybe 15 bands that I would almost say the Parquet Courts are kind of like the kings of the tree, or at least the godfathers or whatever.
Yeah, a lot of things branch out from them.
They've really hit it off big.
Yeah, they're an amazing band.
Yeah, I
They
think
have
so.
great songs, yeah.
You guys just played a song called "Statuette On The Console." That was, you did the Dutch version of that song. Can you give me the name in Dutch again?
Standbeeldje
Yeah.
op de console.
I thought that was great. that sounded just perfect. I think, yeah.
Could you understand the words?
I could, yeah, I could,
Okay.
definitely could.
Nicky
Because
worked
we have
really
a weird
hard on
accent
that.
over here too, I have to tell you.
Yeah.
So we could understand what you were singing about. But you actually brought this song out in 9 different languages, did you?
Mm-hmm.
What was the purpose behind that?
Nikki, I think the song
Let's
itself.
put it differently. Is there a message to the song? Because there is a statuette, which could be a symbol for a religion.
Yes. I don't think it's not about any one particular religion, but it's about, I mean, this is just from conversations I've had with Nikki. It's her song. She wrote the lyrics. But it's about not really having any one ideology. You know, she's very much was raised an atheist and everything.
Right.
So there's kind of a loss when you don't have a religion or something comforting like
Sure.
that. But there's also a strength in that. And her also acknowledging, I have my own platitudes. I have my own. And yes, so the statuette on the console could be anything. It could be a little Virgin Mary. It could be a little whatever it is that people give iconic symbolics to. But because of that, I know she wanted to sort of brush off the shackles of her, only being an English speaker, and the English language providing her ideology for her. So she reached out to as many different people as she could to translate it for her.
Right.
And it was like the 9 languages were just the 9 friends that offered to translate.
Yeah.
You know?
And the third song that you guys were playing was memorized by heart.
Yes.
That was one that I didn't know. That was one I didn't see on the. That wasn't on the album, I guess. On
Yeah,
both of
it's
them.
only on the CD.
It is.
We did like
So-
a very 90s thing where there's a bonus track on the CD. So maybe somebody who bought the CD can rip it and put it on there online
Right.
for everybody.
That's actually a very nice idea to memorize by heart. I think in English you say you memorize by heart.
Yes.
In French, for
Yeah.
instance, they say par cœur, also by
Yeah.
heart.
Oh,
But in
wow.
Dutch we say you memorize by head.
Oh, interesting.
So there's some different
Yeah.
approaches to the idea
that's
of
really
memorizing something.
Yeah.
Well, it's such a key phrase for a musician because in order to learn a song, you have to just get it in your body.
Right.
And we're such a brainy band.
Yeah.
We're so, in the sense that we're so text-based, I wanted to kind of fight against that and say ultimately, this is a very Heidegger idea. There's no like dualism between the mind and the body.
Right.
They work together. You know, you should do philosophy with your body.
I think
Yeah,
there's a lot of
sure.
mind and body to the music. Actually, you can dance and think about it also.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that.
That was something that we were definitely like going for, because it is a lot of this has to do with philosophy. Heidegger, not exactly easy material, but we also wanted people to be able to dance and move to this stuff. So an interesting thing we found on this tour, and it's I think new for Bodega really, is people will be dancing like hard the entire time.
Yeah.
And not just moshing, like
No.
grooving, dancing, and it's
Is that
really
going
amazing
on
to
too?
see.
Is there some moshing going on also?
Yeah,
When
it
you
can
guys
go there.
Depends
Oh,
on
yeah.
the city.
Yeah.
There's some moshers in certain cities. you know.
Okay. The songs are normally very short, just about 2 minutes approximately. And there's a certain simplicity to it. But I thought, is it hard to make a simple song?
Yeah. I think it's harder to make a simple song than it is to do a progged out jam thing because every gesture counts. I mean, I'm being a little it's very pop music is twofold. It's one, it's so stupid anybody can do it, but it's so impossible and almost no one can do. I'm reminded of that Beethoven quote where he's too easy for beginners, but he's too difficult for masters.
I was thinking about, that's a good one, actually.
I hadn't heard that. That's great.
I haven't heard that too. I was thinking about what Hemingway said. He said, "Your easy reading is my difficult writing."
Yes, this is true. Yeah.
And you find that too in the songs? Is it
Maybe,
hard to
yeah.
make? There's a lot of complexity to simplicity, I would say.
Right.
Yeah, when you try hard, you die hard. I think the best pop songs or the best songs that we've come up with are usually the ones that feel like throwaways because they just
Right.
appeared out of thin air and they feel effortlessly fun. And the ones you really labor over, a lot of people, they can be laboring to listen to.
And how does it come about an album like that? Is it a process that's ongoing, or are you just sitting together, coming together, and write songs?
Oh man, there's no one way that we write songs, but this time there's so many different ways. We with some of our older members before they moved on
Right.
to their own solo projects now, we tried to work out some stuff with them. We did demos with live drums. We did demos with typed out drums. The guy who co-produced the album, Bobby, he came over to our apartment during the very early parts of the pandemic and just helped demo a lot of ideas. I think we had like a pool of like 30 songs. We whittled down to 20, recorded 20, and then chose the 12. And there are those 4 B-sides, which you can still get on all the streaming things and stuff. So, yeah, it's and even after we recorded, I not just me, but some people thought, oh, okay, well, it's too heavy on this type of song. We need some different kinds of songs. So I took it as a challenge over this Christmas. I guess it was 2021 Christmas to write 2 more sort of pop rock songs that ended up being "How Can I Help You" and "Seneca the Stoic," and then we went back recorded those.
we recorded. Yeah.
And then we just had so much time to wait to put it out. So I second guessed myself a lot. I went and re-recorded, changed lyrics, really simple stuff like change the tense of like certain sentences, and I would send it to our managers and label and be like, "Can you hear the difference?" They're like, "No, not really."
What the fuck?
But that's cool.
But you guys must have a lot of energy because this tour is going forever. I think it's like Bob Dylan's never-ending tour.
It's it's a monster tour.
Yeah.
We have a lot of energy. If there's one thing we have, it's energy.
That's good. Well, we'll see that later. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.